Alrighty. Alright. Greetings and welcome aboard to the Heavy Metal Truckers. We are your hosts. I am Pincushion, this is Doppler, and that is Frosty. And in this episode, I'm throwing them a curveball because I don't know I'm doing this. Guys, I recently came across a group that was pretty astounding. I want to get your takes on it. Alright, so the group is called Harvst, and this particular track is called Wahnmal, I believe.
I actually had that in my recommendations. I didn't listen to it, but I saw
Did
it
you
in my
really?
Yeah,
Cool.
I saw it in my recommendations. I thought about checking it, but I didn't. I was like, apparently I should have.
You're good, because we're going to listen to it now. right, what did you guys think?
So now I'm probably gonna have to listen to this song on my own to be able to give a true answer, just because the sound quality when listening to stuff on here is not the greatest for me.
Right.
So some of what I'm saying, I might go back listen to it myself and feel the complete opposite.
Okay.
So at least here, wasn't the biggest fan of his harsh vocals. I couldn't really understand them.
Well, for one thing, they are a German group.
Well, I know a lot of German, but you throw the harsh vocals make it a lot harder.
Yeah.
And two, even just the pitch of it, wasn't the biggest fan of. Now,
Right.
again, like I said, I could go back and listen to my own and tell you completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Now, besides that, I liked a lot of what they had going on, and I'm really curious who their influences are.
Same here. Because they're supposed to be atmospheric black metal.
Because it again, this could just be because of my poor quality, but I was even getting some Tool vibes in there.
Yeah.
I loved how, and this could be part of the reason why I got some Tool vibes, but I loved how distinct the bass was. As you know, I love when you can hear the bass nice and clear and pretty.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, the group vocals, as well as I could hear them, were pretty good. I liked the kind of effect that they did with them. And musically, what I heard sounded pretty good. Like, for me, the only drawback was his harsh vocals,
Mm-hmm.
personally.
Frosty?
I totally agree with Doppler. It's the harsh vocals for me that kind of kill the vibe. Other than that, I mean, musically, everything sounded fantastic. Like you said, the bass, the chorus with the the extras behind it. I mean, all of it definitely sounded great. It's definitely those harsh vocals that kind of kind of kill it almost. I mean, if you take out the harsh vocals and add I don't even know what you would add. It's more or less just the harsh vocals that are kind of hurting the song's chances almost.
It didn't. They weren't as bad as the poppy vocals on the Baby Metal song.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, now that I've said that, this is
definitely.
going to have to come out after that, but
Well, it
know
definitely
what
will
I'm
be.
talking about. So people know what I'm talking about, but they weren't as bad as those. But and again, it could just be the quality
Mm-hmm.
for me, just because I don't get the best sound quality when we listen to the stuff on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they just, I wasn't the biggest fan of his harshes. Yeah. But anyway, you can go ahead, Frosty.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, pretty much everything you've said, I'm agreeing with. That's kind of my thought process on it too. I mean, it sounded great. It's just the harsh.
So,
I mean, it could be the sound quality, but we'll see.
Are you guys ready for me to throw you a wild curveball?
I don't know, maybe.
I mixed this.
I'm used to it from you.
Oh, you mixed it?
I mixed this.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
I wonder why it popped up for me then on YouTube under my thing. Maybe because it was you.
It probably was. Because any one of you guys are subscribed to me, I'm like, God, oh, they don't find this.
That's
Cool.
probably why I saw it, because it did pop up on there, and I
Okay.
remember thinking,
Yep.
what is that?
I mixed this, and I was curious as to what you guys would think.
So what did they do? Did they contact you or something?
No, so no, definitely not. So since the beginning of me going to school for this, I learned from my professor that Cambridge audio, I'm guessing it's based in the UK. I'm really not certain, but they have a mixing library where all amateurs or even potentially professionals can go in. They have a shitload of practice mixes that you can do to hone your skills in, or just learn from, and this was one of the ones that had recently come up. Frosty knows back in the day there was a group called Dark Ride where I was mixing a lot of their stuff, and I found this.
One in particular.
You've gotten like a year's worth of my practice mixes based on from there, but yeah, like this was one of the ones on there, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm like, and it was a pretty simple mix. There was no samples on it. I loved that. Guitar was fine. If I remember correctly, the bass was DI. Which means direct input, or basically just a dry bass signal. And I had Glenn Fricker's what is it called? Spectre bass plugin that he used, and I did that for the bass and just got it the best that I could from what I had. I was not the biggest fan of the way the main vocalist screams were for black metal, but I knew that if I threw on the appropriate amount of reverb, that it would be able to work and it help fill in some of that. There was always.
So I take it they were way worse.
They weren't exactly way worse, but if you heard them dry, you would have been like. But yeah, mixed with the guitars, the bass, and everything else, it would come out solid. So, not excluding me telling you that I mixed this, from a production standpoint, did you guys find any difference between what can be heard in this compared to what's out there as far as like how everything is heard instrument-wise?
It's hard for me to say without listening to it on my own through the.
Because
I will say the bass was a lot clearer than most mixes, which I liked. Which I don't know if that was your doing or if that's just how the song is.
I did have some part in that, just because what I know a lot of people to do is just take that bass and try and mix it in with everything, which. A lot of what I learned these days actually came from what I learned on. I used to be part of URM Academy, and where they had Nail the Mix, and you would get practice mixes from big names like Amon Amarth. I actually learned this technique from Machine, who did Lamb of God. Whenever he did Redneck, I learned his bass technique, which is parting out like the higher frequencies of the bass, like with the pick attack and everything on the amp, to the sub frequencies. I split them up and made sure the bass amp portion, like what's more so audibly heard, went right up with the guitars, and then I fractioned out the sub bass to just ride along with it without messing up the mix. And that's partially why you're able to hear it so much more. And I'm also along the lines of Glenn Fricker's thing, where a mix is going to sound shitty if there's not good bass, and the bass cannot be heard properly, but doesn't overwhelm.
Yeah, no, musically, I didn't have a problem with the song. Really, I mean, it was just the harsh vocals.
Yeah, and what a lot of guys. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, I mean, from the production standpoint, I mean, it sounded pretty much like you would find this on Spotify or, like out on the radio. Which is
cool to hear, honestly. So. No, but one of the things.
Again, I'll say the same as like Doppler. I mean, yeah, the quality on this streaming is it kind of dies a little bit, so it's difficult for us to hear.
Yeah, well, I have it on YouTube. Everyone can see it, so.
But, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Now I will say
what I can hear, it sounds pretty well put together.
Biggest difference that I do in comparison to what I've seen other people do, and this is something I learned from my professor. I mix in the context of what you're going to hear live. And I don't understand why. I understand, but this kind of thing is kind of ridiculous to me now that I understand it. Most guys will take the drums, especially the overheads, pan them hard left and hard right. When the fuck do you ever see on a stage a drum that's just spread out, unless it's Neil Peart's set, just spread out all the way across the stage, or is it directly mostly in front of you?
Usually dead center.
That's why I panned it out, so it's more in the center with some wide spread out, just about like, if you take it like a 3-part wheel, it's a good chunk just in the middle, and the reverbs are kind of spread out, so it has some stereo imaging to it, and the guitars have their own place in the left and right, hard left and right.
Well, yeah, because you want to be able to hear. I mean, well, with that mindset, I mean, you've got the live mindset on it. It's you are kind of picturing where the band would be standing on stage, and
Exactly.
try to get that sort of aspect to the actual sound quality when you're listening back.
Exactly. To me, an album should be made as if someone was going to listen to it live.
Mm-hmm.
Or see them live, and having it gives a more realistic aspect of what you're going to witness live. So that's the reason I do it that way. It made sense from the very beginning. Very beginning of me learning it back in like 2017.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, somewhere like hell. I started going there like 2015, 2016 actually, but no.
Yeah.
It was 2017, I think. Fuck, I don't remember.
Was it before or after I got my tattoo?
I don't remember. It's been too
I
damn long.
want to say it was before. That would have been 2016.
Yeah, so it might have been then, but yeah, like back from that point until now, that's how I mix, and it comes out sounding the best to me that way, just because this is what a live setting is going to be. Which, of course, you're going to listen to stuff in your car, but whenever you go to a show, that's what you're going to experience. And then, of course, like then guys on stage will do their magic too, but it's like, yeah.
Well, I mean, even listening in the car or like through, headphones or earbuds or whatever, I mean, you still get that like sort of live aspect to it, because I mean, you've got the left and right pandering, you've got like
they mix
the
it that way.
reverb bouncing back and forth.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I mean, it kind of, I mean, it with especially with headphones sitting on your head, I mean, you kind of see it, left to right, and it would be like what you're doing, like watching a live concert left to right. And I mean,
Yeah, the funny thing,
You got a trucker headphones where you only got one ear.
the funny thing
yeah,
is how long,
that too.
the funny thing is how long this took me to mix.
3 minutes
A
and
lot
17
longer.
seconds.
3 hours. From the moment
close.
That's a lot shorter.
that is
Than
from
I
the
remember you
moment I
mixing.
put the tracks into my DAW to the moment it was pushed out. 3 hours.
Mm.
Now granted, I went back to make sure it was good, and in the process of doing so, I got really pissed because some of the plugins that I own went onto their license, went onto a subscription, and my licenses got deactivated, which means they were no longer active. So I had to go in and quickly see what I could do to them, because I couldn't look back at, I couldn't open up the plugins again and look at what I'd done. So in that shortest span of time, I had to see what sounded good, and about the span of an hour or two, I had to redo everything. Well,
No,
most everything.
way faster than what it used to be all those years ago.
Well,
when
it's
you'd send me songs left and right.
yeah. Well, that's also because I was in an era where I was still learning, and now it was like learning how to use, not just learning how to use, but learning when not to use stuff, because that's the biggest thing that new guys it's like, well, what do I need to make this better? How about let's take some stuff out and start removing stuff and
Use mostly the raw material. That
use
should
the
be
raw material.
enough to be
Giving
able to...
space for everything to breathe is one of the primary things of mixing. Afterwards, to get everything to sit better within the mix is whenever you start tweaking other things and giving accents, which honestly I didn't really do because I didn't think it needed it. I mean, there were some sections where I increased or decreased some things just to make it not so sharp or make it slightly enunciated, but that was it. I didn't like if you actually looked at the whole mix session, like on max of 3
Hardly
plugins
touched
were
it.
yeah, a max of 2 or 3 plugins were used on each track, if anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, most of the time you want to have, maybe only edits, maybe like slight reverb here, maybe make it sound a little bit sharper here, or
Do you want to?
more
So
precise here.
here's the funny
but, I
thing:
mean,
the only reverb that exists is on the vocals. No reverb on the drums. That was all the mics that were included. That was the drum rooms were that good.
oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
that was
insane.
yeah, and the reverb on the vocals was an easy fix. Just make it as spacious as possible and atmospheric as possible, and Bob's your uncle.
Well, I mean, they also say like when you go to recording music and everything, if you can get the best recording of it first time around, or even just
You don't have
in
to do much
general,
in post.
for the mix, you won't have to do it in post as much.
Yeah,
And
But-
that's how you get the more organic sound
Yeah.
to the music and the song and everything.
indeed. But so I am going to. We'll go ahead and end this unless you guys have any other thoughts, and we'll continue on to the
Nope.
next album.
I probably got enough time for one more video. Because it's almost 11 o'clock.
Yeah, true.
All right.
Do y'all want to do another album review, or do y'all want to do the new With a Notation song?
Oh, that is right. They do have a new one out. I kind of want to go ahead and get Behemoth out of the way.
Okay, that's fine. I don't care.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Hold up. All right, guys. Well, until next time, keep rolling heavy.